Hi everyone, I hope you're all keeping well and safe. I'm back today with a new non-fiction text. This one's called I Wonder Why Pyramids Were Built. So before we begin to read, I want you to have a look at the book cover, okay, and think about what kind of information would you expect to find out in this text, okay? So just from looking at the book cover, so that includes the title, I Wonder Why Pyramids Were Built, and the pictures, what kind of information would you expect to find in this text? I'll give you 1 minute to pause the video and discuss. Okay, so if you said anything to do with ancient Egypt, Egyptians, or the pyramids themselves, then you're spot on. Well done. So, as I open the book, again, I'm immediately met with a contents page. Now remember, the contents page tells us where to find the relevant topic, okay? So if I wanted to find out who ruled Egypt, what page would I need to go to? Okay, so who ruled Egypt? What page would I need to go to for that? Okay. If you said page 6, you are absolutely correct. Well done. So let's find out together. The king of Egypt was called the Pharaoh. The Egyptians believed that their sun god Ra was the first king of Egypt, and that all the pharaohs after him were his relatives. This made the pharaoh very holy and very powerful. The people thought he was a god on earth. The pharaoh's advisors were called the honoured ones. There were all sorts of royal officials too, with grand names like the director of royal dress and the keeper of royal wigs. Could a woman be a pharaoh? Although very few women ruled Egypt, there was a famous pharaoh called Hutep. When her 6-year-old nephew came to the throne, Hutep was asked to rule Egypt for him, just until he was a little bit older. But Hutep liked ruling so much that she wouldn't let her nephew take over. He didn't get the chance to rule until he was 30 years old. When she was pharaoh, Hutep had to wear the badges of royalty. These included a false beard made of real hair. Okay, so she had to wear a false beard made of real hair. How would you know if you met a pharaoh? Well, he'd be wearing a crown, of course. In fact, pharaohs sometimes wore 2 crowns at the same time. A white one for Upper Egypt, which was the name for the south of the country, and a red one for Lower Egypt, which was the north. So here's a picture for you. So in the middle you can see, there we go, so in the middle you can see the sun god Ra, okay, and then over here there is Hutep and she's wearing the beard, okay, she's wearing a fake beard, good. Who was the crocodile god? In old paintings and carvings, most Egyptian gods and goddesses have animal heads. The water god, Sebek, was shown as a crocodile. Thoth had the head of a bird called an ibis, while Tarawet looked like a hippo. Osiris and Isis were luckier. They were shown as a great king and queen. The ancient Egyptians worshipped as many as 2,000 gods and goddesses. The Egyptians loved to wear lucky charms. Their favourites were scarabs. The scarab beetle was sacred to the sun god Ra. Who was the goddess Nut? Nut was the goddess of the heavens, and she was usually shown covered in stars. Many gods and goddesses were linked in families. Nut was married to Geb. Isis and Osiris were their children. Being a priest was a part-time job. Most only spent 3 months a year at the temple and lived at home the rest of the time. Priests had to wash twice during the day and twice at night to make themselves clean and pure for the gods. So here's a picture of some of the Egyptian gods. Okay, so here you've got Thoth, who's got the head of a bird or an ibis. Then you've got Osiris, okay. Then you've got Tarawet, who has got the head of a hippo. And then you've got Isis, okay. Why did Egyptians bury their mummies? A mummy is a dead body which has been dried out so it lasts for thousands of years. The Egyptians believed that the dead travelled to another world where they needed their bodies, as they didn't want any bits missing. They didn't want any bits missing. Why were mummies brainless? The ancient Egyptians believed that the heart was the most important part of the whole body. They thought that the brain was useless. So when they were preparing a mummy, they took out the brain by pulling it through the nose. Why were mummies wrapped in bandages? Wrapping the dead body helped to keep its shape. After the insides were removed, the body was dried out for 40 days in salty stuff called natron. Then it was washed, rubbed with ointment, and tightly bandaged. Why were the pyramids built? The pyramids were huge tombs for dead pharaohs and other very important people. No one knows exactly why the pyramids were shaped this way. Some people think they were built to point towards the sun and stars so that the dead person's spirit could fly to heaven like a rocket. Okay? The Great Pyramid of Giza was built more than 4,500 years ago. This is what it looks like today. So here you've got the Great Pyramid of Giza. Okay? Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Now I'm going to ask you some quick questions. Okay? So the first is, who was the first pharaoh of Egypt? Who did the Egyptians believe was the first pharaoh of Egypt? If you got the sun god Ra, give yourself a thumbs up. That's absolutely correct. Well done. Second question. What did Hatshepsut, so that's the female pharaoh, what did she have to wear? Okay, what did she have to wear? I'll give you a bit of a clue. Okay, so she had to wear a fake beard, okay, because that was part of the royal badges. Well done if you got that. Okay, next question then. What animal head did the god Thoth have? What animal head did the god Thoth have? If you got a bird or an ibis, well done, give yourself a point. Next question. What jewellery was sacred to the Egyptians? It still is sacred actually, so what jewellery is sacred to the Egyptians? Okay, if you got scarab, well done, okay? Scarab or beetle, well done, you get a point for that. Okay, true or false? The Egyptians believed that the brain was useless. Is that true or false? The Egyptians believed that the brain was useless. Okay, that's actually true, so well done if you got that. And then the last question now is, why do you think the pyramids were built, or what did people used to believe why the pyramids were built that way in the shape of a pyramid or 3D triangle? Okay, why were they built that way? What did people used to believe or still believe? Okay, so they were built that way because they thought that the spirit or the soul would be transported quickly to heaven, okay, because the pyramids are pointing towards the sun and the stars. So well done if you got that, guys. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. Take care until then, and I'll see you in the next video.